All right, just a quick update from OOTP. Let me switch my screen and let's go back to this. If you are on the desktop version, the fast spring version, there is an update that you probably want to do. If you're on Steam, it updated my Steam, I think yesterday or the day before with this new update. But this morning Rich announced that OOTP is on a different build. So 24669 is the most current build. Again, a lot of little bug fixes and things added in. If you're a ballpark person, they updated some of the ballparks in the game. Some of the little glitches that were going on, too many pickoffs were taking place in games, trade issues, different crashes that were happening, and so on. So yes, this was posted on the forums a few hours ago and posted on the Discord by Rich Grisham earlier this morning too. So again, if you're on Steam, it will automatically update if you have that setting turned on. Otherwise, you might want to update to the newest one, including some cosmetic things too in the perfect draft in terms of the card caches and in terms of the image fetching, pack display on mission tournaments, all that kind of stuff. So probably a good idea to update the patch. And sometimes when you update patches, there's changes in gameplays a little bit. Usually the community picks up on that real quick. We'll see if it affects, perfect team or league or anything like that along the way. Okay, as I announced yesterday and as Tetsuiji announced on Saturday during his stream, we have a big event coming up on Saturday. That is the Canada Day Showdown, the Canada Day Classic. Little change in the time. It's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to start an hour earlier. So 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday on my channel, we are going to have the best of 7 showdown in Canadian baseball stadiums. And we are going to face off in this potential 7-game series. It will show us the highlights. Tetsuiji will call the games. I'll be the color person behind the mic and will inform you guys, talk a little bit about Canadian baseball, some of the players that have come from Canada to play this great game, and it'll be fun. Looking forward to this showdown. Hopefully it's not a sweep. Don't want it to be a sweep. So today we are going to get underway with the draft very shortly, and then on July 1st, 1 p.m. Eastern, with a giveaway. You're going to fill out a Google form and have a chance to win some packs during Saturday's stream. So again, the question will be, who is going to go number 1? Will it be Fergie Jenkins, or will it be Larry Walker? You can't go wrong, Tetsuiji, with either one, can you?
That's true, I can't. Hello, friends and neighbors. Good to see all of y'all.
Yeah,
I have a
welcome.
bias. So, I've been playing the Flying Purple Baseball Beaters, the Colorado Rockies franchise. I will be playing them tomorrow. So I don't think it's to anyone's surprise that the first overall selection will be the pride of Maple Ridge, British Columbia from the 1997 Colorado Rockies, Larry Walker.
Larry Walker, the first overall selection. And as we go through this, we're going to kind of quickly bring up these players. Again, if you're from Europe, from the US, you might not be as familiar with some of these players. Of course, the top end guys you've all heard of before. But the number 1 overall pick from the Expos, from the Rockies, Mr. Larry Walker. And Tetsuiji, as a baseball fan, as a Canadian baseball fan, as an international baseball fan, what kind of memories do you have of Larry Walker?
Him wearing a SpongeBob SquarePants shirt, receiving the nomination into the Hall of Fame on his 10th try on the ballot. The man's a legend just for that. But honestly, I remember him most from his 2004 stint with the St. Louis Cardinals when the team made it to the World Series and then ran into the curse-reversing Boston Red Sox. So I don't remember him much from his time with the Colorado Rockies. That said, I'm glad we got him in my save. And in 98, World Series champion alongside Ken Griffey Jr.
There you go. At least he won a ring in some sort of form of baseball. Now, with our rules, Tetsuiji and I are obviously picking Canadian-born baseball players. So it's not players that played in Canada necessarily. It's players that were born here. So, for instance, Vlad Guerrero Sr. played here. Vlad Guerrero Jr. was born in Canada, of course, during Vlad's time in Montreal. The other component to this is we're going to import that player into OOTP from a specific year in their career, because why not? OOTP allows us to do that. So for Larry Walker, which Larry Walker are we going to get?
We're going to get the 1997 MVP of the National League. Yes, Coors, I know, but you don't get a 178 OPS plus, which is a park neutral stat, without being really stinking good. Yes, he's going to be stuck in right field. Might train him up at left field instead, but I'm excited to see what Larry Walker is capable of doing in slightly less hitter-friendly parks. So I'm going with someone who can play every day. You know, we're doing a 2-2-1-1-1 scheme, so it's not like Larry's ever going to get fatigued trying to do 3 games in a row. That's why I picked him.
Right. And you said 1996, correct?
97.
97. Okay. And in terms of, we are going to train up in a second position, but I want to be clear here in terms of how that will work, so we're on an even footing here. In 1997, Larry Walker played right field, first base, center field, DH. Now, Tesuiji, let me clarify. If we're choosing a specific year, does that secondary position have to be a position they played in that year?
No, it does not. So, and also keep in mind that the historical database in Out of the Park Baseball may not list him with eligibility at first base or center field. What I did a quick check, his 97 year only has a rating in right field, but as per our rules, I could give him 200 experience, so full experience in left. So that way he has a little bit of eligibility in both.
Okay, so his secondary position
will be left field.
And how can we determine what that is? Could it be any position?
It's your choice. Any position on the diamond. It all depends on what his ratings are. So at the conclusion of today, I'm going to import all of our specific years. I'll send you a screenshot of what those look like, and then you, based on the fielding ratings, you want high range on your infield and outfield up the middle. You want your strong arm in right field. You'll be able to make your call as to which one you want for your team and your players to get experience in.
All right. Well, that makes sense then. So we don't have to announce on stream unless we know it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, my pick then is very easy. I mean, it's a bummer not getting first overall pick, but the advantage is that I don't have to really make a choice on this one here. It's an obvious choice. And also I get home field advantage. So that's kind of a little perk too of drafting second. So with the second overall pick, Laptop Hounds team will take Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins from the Chicago Cubs and Texas and Boston. He moved around a little bit in his career. Unfortunately, never got a chance to play for a Canadian team. So how difficult was it choosing between these two Hall of Famers, Tetsuiji?
It was tough. Like I may have hinted at you earlier. 60% I was settled on Walker because Jenkins is fantastic, and given the breaks that we have in the schedule, you could probably throw him Game 1, Game 4, Game 7, given it's 1981, or Game 1, Game 5, coming at the bullpen Game 7. So you have that flexibility in terms of the rotation, especially given how much of a workhorse he was in his mid-20s. You take a look at some of those Cub years, 300 innings pitched for 4 straight seasons.
Right. And I will be choosing the 1971 version of Fergie Jenkins. When he played for the Chicago Cubs, he went 24-13, and you see a lot of bold kind of black numbers there, kind of peak numbers in his career. So that will be the Fergie Jenkins that will take the mound for Game 1, and we'll see how things go after that. Probably
30 complete games. You don't need much of a bullpen when Fergie's on the mound.
Yep, absolutely. When you were researching and you were thinking about Fergie, did you have a year in mind for what?
It was going to be 71. Absolutely.
It was going to be 71. Okay. Whew. Made the right choice there. Well,
Yep.
now things kind of get a little bit more wide open here because there are several players that kind of fall into that next tier after the two Hall of Famers. So,
Hmm.
what are you thinking for pick number 3? Or
For the second round selection, Team Confederation is looking at defense and offense balanced, and one player in particular stands out based on that. I already did an early import into Out of the Park just to confirm he's going to be eligible to play shortstop. He is from, let me just make sure I get the city right, from Anola, Manitoba, and the Minnesota Twins of 2001, third baseman Corey Koski.
Corey Koski, there it is. All you Canadian baseball fans, all you Minnesota fans, you see,
Minnesota's like quasi-Canadian anyway.
yeah, he did play that 1 year in Toronto in 2005. And which year are you choosing him from?
2001, where he put up a 121 OPS plus and had stellar defense at third base. I think he can be our shortstop, so that means I don't have to worry about trying to get a Canadian shortstop. I'm going to train him up there instead.
All right. So Corey Koski goes to Tesuiji. And again, just goes
Yeah.
the two names of our teams again. Just kind of go over what our team names are.
So our team. So I went with the two names because Confederation Day, was one of the original names for Canada Day. We are the Confederation of Canada, and then before then we were the Dominion of Canada under the United Kingdom, under the British Empire. So that's why those two names stuck out. I wanted to get something that still had a bit of a blue versus red concept because I always associate myself with the color blue, and Canada's always the color red. I stole the Conservative Party's old logo for Team Confederation. I think it looks sharp on a baseball cap. And Team Dominion's logo comes from the old Dominion supermarket chain. I think they're called Metro now.
All right. So yours has a little bit more, Canadian political government kind of background.
But yours has been a Canadian institution, and I put the supermarket logo right across the chest of your jersey. It looks sharp.
Yeah, I like it. Wait till you see the jerseys on Saturday. They are looking sharp. All right. Well, with my second round pick, this is going to be a little bit controversial because I know when people do perfect drafts, they say avoid pitchers. But, some positions are very tough to come by. And in a series like this, when you need to go to the bullpen, you need a guy you can rely on. And so with the second round pick, Laptop Hound is taking from Montreal, Eric Gagne.
Oh, game over. There it is.
I thought I didn't know how late you were going to leave him. I know he was probably on your radar, probably sooner rather than later, maybe. But I want that shutdown guy, and we are going to take the 2003 Eric Gagne.
That's the one where he had like 53 saves in a row, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a pretty good year. Let's see if we can find his pitching stats here. 2003, he had
55 saves.
Yeah.
And if you hover over, you'll see how many opportunities. No, he was perfect. 55 for 55.
Yeah. So
0.86 FIP. Holy smokes.
So it's one of those cases where if he was a lesser form of a reliever, you leave him. You don't take him this early. But with that season that he had in 2003, you can't pass him up, can you? Like, where did you have him projected in the draft?
I had him projected mid-rounds, to be honest. Like, I'm thinking like 5 or 6. I have my strategy. I have my thoughts. So I'm glad you've helped me make my choice in terms of that respect, Gagne or someone else.
And, I'm going to be honest, like the strategy for me changed when you announced Larry Walker, because if I got Walker, I'm going to have a completely different strategy. But with Jenkins, I'm going to focus more to that pitcher focus and try to dominate you there, because I looked at the ballparks, the ballpark modifiers, and there are some that are pitcher favorite ballparks, so they favor the pitcher. So, yeah, it's going to be, I think, ultimately a hitter versus pitcher showdown, at least from the first 2 rounds. All right.
At least. But for our third round selection, we're going to stay in Manitoba. We're going to go all the way back to the dead ball era.
We're gonna hold it right off there, Tesuiji, because we do have a break. We do have a break coming up. So hold on to that third round pick.
And it looks like our perfect draft has started as well.
Oh, cool. All right. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay tuned for the continuation of the draft. Back. And a quick tournament update here as the tournament now has started, and looks like Tesuiji and I are both in the same side of the bracket. I am playing one of the teams that was not registered, with the chat. They had already entered before it set off. So the Austin Avengers will not qualify if they knock me out. And Tesuiji is up against the Gators, and I don't know if I saw the manager in the chat for this one either. Is Stormin 48? Yeah. Did you see this one, Tesuiji, in the chat?
No, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
Okay.
I was prepping for the draft,
If the Gators are in the chat, just let us know. Otherwise, the first round is going to be a little bit anticlimactic because these may be 2 of the 3 teams that were already in the draft before we started. Again, with only 2 perfect drafts firing off, one had 9 teams already, one had 3 teams. So we went with the lesser of the 2. So that is what it's looking like. Again, we will figure things out at the end in terms of packs. We will definitely be giving away 10 packs. We just don't know who yet. All right, let's go back to, and Tesuiji will be keeping track of this on a little tracker as well, and we'll show his screen once in a while to kind of show the players that we've drafted so far in case you've missed it. But we are currently on round 3.
And we're going to the pitcher side this time. We're staying in Manitoba, though. We're going to the dead ball era New York Yankees from 1910. Say hello to Russ Ford, our ace starting pitcher.
Ooh, very good choice. I did have him on my radar. Again, kind of focusing on pitchers. I was looking at Ford or Gagne. Do I want a second starter? Do I want a reliever? And, Gagne can come into more games potentially, especially with the rest days. So we've got Russ Ford, who didn't have a long career from the dead ball era. Which year are you choosing?
1910, his rookie year, when he went 26-6 with a 1.87 FIP. 209 strikeouts in almost 300 innings, 8 shutouts over 29 complete games. So that's why I'm like, okay, this clearly is someone with talent. And you can see there, he went to the Federal League back when that was a thing, and then promptly left organized sport afterwards. I didn't want to sit too long on the pitchers. I wanted to get at least one good one in the early rounds. And Ford, if you take a look at wins above replacement, at least on Baseball Reference, his 1910 was worth 11.4 wins above replacement, more than Jenkins' 10.1 from 1971.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing, Tesuiji, with something like this where we're picking 1 year from their career, when you look at his overall career, like, he had some bad seasons and he had some really great seasons. So we are kind of taking that peak season, which potentially could be a Hall of Fame player, if he would have played several seasons like that.
Exactly.
Okay. So Russ Ford, the starting pitcher for game 1, I'm taking it for Tesuiji. All right. Well, I have to take a bat, and I think the next Canadian-born baseball player that we may see in the Hall of Fame will be the guy that I have chosen or will choose here, and that is Mr. Joey Votto. So Joey Votto, I'm not sure where he was born. Doesn't show
Toronto.
here.
He's
Toronto.
a Torontonian.
Okay, a Toronto boy, and again, Hall of Fame career. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame at some point in his career. MVP, all consistently, in the top 10 in the MVP for several years. Rookie of the Year, finished second in the ballot there. All-star appearances. Doesn't have that World Series ring and may not get one unless he's willing to go to another team. But talk about a loyal guy, his whole career with one team, with the Reds. And Joey Votto, I am going to choose the 2010 version of Joey Votto. High average, high OBP, career high 600 slugging percentage and a 1.024. I was thinking the 2017 as well, but I'm going to go with the MVP 2010 year. What do you think about Votto?
That's a good choice. I also was like thinking which one do I highlight, because a 454 on base percentage and a second, finishing second in MVP. Pretty darn solid for a 33-year-old.
Yes.
Also, take a look at the 2012 with a 474 on base. Votto is an on-base machine. We got to have some high control guys in order to work around that.
Yeah, there you go. And this draft is fluid. Once you see what the other team is taking, you kind of have to try and counter. How do I deal with a Joey Votto? How do I deal with a Larry Walker? All right, moving on to round number 4. What do you have on your books?
I'm going to stay in the dead ball era. I'm going to go back to one of the legends of Canadian baseball. They named an award after him. Playing for the St. Louis Browns, born in Springfield, Ontario, the one, the only, Tip O'Neill.
Tip O'Neill. All right, let's go down and find Tip O'Neill.
And there's like 2/3 of my outfield right there.
Yeah. And again, a different strategy. When I was researching, I found a lot of potential outfielders. So I thought, you know what? I can wait on outfield a little bit. But definitely he was in my top 5. Tip O'Neill. And what are we looking at for his year?
Got to be the 1887 year. You look at that slash line. In the dead ball era, getting 14 home runs, leading the league with 52 doubles, 19 triples, a 213 OPS plus. Yes, his fielding is not the greatest. I did a little check in the historical database. I think he's got a 25 rated arm, so a bit of a noodle, but if you're in left field, you don't really need one. So that's why I'm thinking, gotta go with Tip. Worst case scenario, DH him.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, great Canadian baseball player. Really good pick. I'm kind of glad you left my next guy alone because it kind of works in with my strategy. If I'm going to have some elite pitchers early on, I need an elite catcher. And we both know catchers are few and far between from Canadian players. So I have to go with a framer and a hitter, Russell Martin.
But remember, 1981 settings, pitch framing impact is not as high.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Oh, you're going with the offense catcher. All right.
Yeah, I'm going with the offense catcher. So, a guy that I watched quite a bit in his days in Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, fortunately made his way to Toronto. And I will be going with the, what do I have for Martin? 2007. I'm going to go with one of his early years.
Okay.
All-Star.
I have 2014 circled on mine, but yeah, I can see the value of 2007 going with that early, where he, All-Star, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. Pretty good awards chest.
Yeah, it was 2014 was my second choice with Pittsburgh. Going to go with the younger guy. He did have a few more errors. 293 batting average compared to a 290. His on-base percentage, again, was a little bit higher, actually lower. But again, the peak card in Perfect Team, I even looked that up. In Perfect Team, there's that Russell Martin Tournament Edition card, and it's peak 2007. So I thought, you know what? How wrong can Perfect Team be with his peak year?
That's fair.
So, yeah, we are playing 1981. That was the year that was drawn on Tesuiji's stream on Saturday. So we are playing the 1981. And I did see someone mention, I think Sea Shocker said, with Fergie, do you really need a closer? Well, not really. But if this was the dead ball era, absolutely Gagne would be a low priority because Fergie would be pitching every game. But in 1981, you still need that guy just in case. So yeah, I gambled. All right, what do we have for round 5?
Similar to how you helped make my mind up with, or I helped make your mind up with taking Russell Martin and leaving him available for you. I'm glad you left this guy available for me. This was the other big reliever on the board, and I'm going to steal him before you get a chance. From Toronto, Ontario, played for the Detroit Tigers, John Hiller will be joining Team Confederation.
Okay, yeah, I did have him targeted. I have him on my list. I had Jenkins, Gagne, Ford, and Hiller. So you are spot on. So this is a player that played back in the 1960s and 70s, played 3 different decades, quite honestly, because he did play 1 year in 1980. He's no Minnie Minoso, but hey, he played 3 different decades. And which year
If I'm
are
not
you going
mistaken,
with?
he had to take 1971 off because of cardiac issues or something like that.
Really?
We're going to be taking his 1973 year. I think he won the Cy Young. 38 saves to lead the league, 60 games finished. Take a look at that whip, 1.021, 124 strikeouts. Okay, he got Cy votes, my mistake, and MVP votes. So this was his announcement. I'm back and I'm awesome.
Is he a lefty or righty? He's a lefty.
He is a lefty.
Okay. All right. So Tetsuiji has a couple arms, and he's a starter, correct?
He is a reliever.
Oh, he's a reliever. Okay. Right. So we both have a starter. We both have a reliever.
Yep.
We both have a couple good bats. You went with the defense in the infield, and a bat with Koski. All right. I've got a couple names on my list here. Who do I take that you are not going to take? Well, you know what? Let's stay more modern era. And he did have a really good offensive year. And I know we're playing defensive era, but you still need some run production. So from Montreal, we are going with Vlad Guerrero Jr., first base and third base eligible. And we are going to go with his...
There's one clear, obvious choice, Laptop Hound. Come
2021.
on. Yep.
2021 will be the year. We're right here. So 123 runs, 48 home runs. The guy had a 401 on-base percentage. Yeah, career high so far in this short career. Vlad Guerrero. Not sure where I'll put him. Could play DH. I got Votto at first, and or I could play him at third base in a pinch. So we'll figure that out later. Where did you have Guerrero? Just curious.
I was about to pick him next.
Woo, woo,
You scooped me, dude. You scooped me,
right.
Lap.
Okay. Well, you did the same with Ford. I was going to go with my next pitcher, but
All right. Well, since there's only one other top tier first baseman, I might as well bring him on. A teammate of Corey Koski, actually, but we're going to be taking his 2006 MVP season. Justin Morneau from the Minnesota Twins, born in New Westminster, British Columbia.
okay, Justin Morneau. So a lot of love for the Minnesota Twins, and I like it because in Edmonton we used to have the Edmonton Trappers, and they were an affiliate, or they were the farm team, AAA team of Minnesota for several years. So I got to see Morneau, Koski, Joe Mauer, those elite future Minnesota Twins came through Edmonton, a lot of them. So great pick. And the year, I'm guessing 2008.
I'm going with, if you scroll to the right, the 2006 year. I think that's when he won the MVP. The scroll bar is above the grid on this one. Yep.
There we go. Yeah, 2006.
So 140 OPS plus. So again, keeping in mind rate adjusted stats, that's I feel like where his value is going to be.
Okay.
Doesn't strike out much, generates a lot, doesn't have a lot of pop, like he's not Vlad Guerrero Jr., but he does have a very good contact bat, which I think is going to play well in 1981.
Cool. So we'll do one more pick, and then we'll kind of show the tracker, what you have so far, for those that may have come in a little bit late. So feel free to share your screen when you get a chance there, Tetsuiji, as I contemplate my next pick, because there's a couple guys, one that I feel really strongly about, but I think he may drop a little more, and then a really big gamble in a key position, and just not sure which guy I want to go with here.
All right. I'm now sharing my screen. You should be able to see it.
Yes, I do. I'll put that up after these next couple picks. I am going to go with... All right. Well, to honor a subscriber and a good friend of the channel, we are going to go with Jeff Heath.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Maybe, he would have slid a little bit, but especially since you have a couple outfielders already. But He's a lefty, and I am going to take his 1941, one of the two All-Star years that he had. Also MVP, finished 8th in MVP voting.
From the Cleveland club, yeah. Good choice.
Solid career with Cleveland. Can run a little bit, 123 RBIs in 1941. So while the war was raging on in Europe, this guy, as a Canadian, was contributing in the major leagues. Born April 1st, by the way. April Fool's, baby. Jeff Heath. Okay. One more, and then we'll show the tracker.
Okay. This is a tough one, because now we're starting to get into real decision points around where do I want my player mix to come from. I think I'm going to go back to the pitcher side on this one. I'm going to go to the modern era, and from 2019, from the Atlanta Baseball Club, born in Calgary, Alberta, Mike Soroka.
Oh, wow. That is a guy, I'm going to admit, I did not even have on my list. Mike Soroka.
You take a look at his 2019. You'll see the value of having Mike on the club.
And that's the thing. That's a great little bit of research.
He's injured right now. Injured rather frequently. But 2019 All-Star year. A lot of home run suppression. 13-4 record. Cy Young votes. Rookie of the Year votes. All-Star. 3.45 FIP. Given again the era that it's in, take a look at his wins above replacement, 6.1. One of the best seasons by a Canadian pitcher not named Fergie Jenkins. So I feel obligated to go with him.
So yes, great pick. I may regret not of researching that guy a little bit more. So we're kind of in between rounds here, but we'll kind of take a look at the tracker that Tesuiji has going on here. You see the picks for Tesuiji on the left. My picks are on the right. So starting to put together a fairly... I couldn't call a winner right now. I really couldn't, because it could go either way. No team really stands out as being better as the other. I think you're a little stronger, I think, maybe on defense right now.
That was the thinking, yeah.
Yep. I'm a little stronger maybe with the offense if it comes into play, and maybe with the pitching, with, of course, the elite closer. And
you've got the top level talent. It's going to be your depth that you got to focus on.
Yep. All right. With my next pick.
And yeah, polymers, that's right. Freddie Freeman not eligible because he was born in California. Yeah. Ditto with Jameson Taillon, not eligible.
And many sites, fool you, because many sites will list him as a Canadian player, but like you said, born in California. All right. I am going to go with another player that had a really solid career. Maybe not familiar with a lot of people, but he can play anywhere in the outfield, and that is Terry Poole.
You scooped me on Poole as well.
Was he your next pick?
He wasn't my next pick. I was hoping you were going to sleep on him for a little while, because his outfield defense is worth putting him in center.
Yeah, and center field, there's some really good defensive center fielders there with a really bad bat. But this is a guy that, again, had a really great career, and he I think can make a difference in center field. And I'm going to take his 1980 season. So maybe a little controversial, because he did have better hitting years. I don't know if this would be considered his peak year. Let me just double check here.
I think based on wins above replacement, you're right. He put up a 6.2 wins above replacement that season, according to my notes.
Okay, so yeah.
I was going to take the 1980 Poole as well.
Okay. So, yeah, Terry Poole. So that gives me a couple outfielders, gives me Heath in right field, gives me Poole likely in center field, and contributes with the defense as well. Do you have his defensive stats there?
Not off top of head, but I put him into out of the park. I think he's got a 75 outfield range.
Okay.
That'll play.
That'll play. All right. Next round, who do you have in mind?
All right. If you're focusing on defense, I got to focus on defense too. And we're going out to the East Coast. We're going to the Maritimes. A fellow by the name of Pop Smith, who played in for the Columbus team back in 1884. He's going to be our second baseman.
All right. And I just want to know, are you drafting players with the best mustaches? Because he had a banger. He had
No, not intentionally. But if you take a look, again, another dead ball guy, but the defense, and those of you who remember from PT previous perfect teams, Pop Smith had some hands for... Take a look at his 1884 year. 6.83 range factor. I'll take it.
And so again, I'm not sure what the double A means. Still,
American Association, still the majors, but before it became the American League.
Okay. So yeah, had a fairly long career. Looks like 11 or 12 seasons. Again, you're not drafting him for his bat. You said 1884.
Yep, that's the one.
So 238 average. That's not why you're drafting this guy. You were drafting him for his elite defense at second base.
Also note 118 OPS plus. It was a good bat for the era.
Oh, yeah. Very good point.
I can always use him as a backup shortstop because I think his defense is going to be stellar. So we got the hands up the middle. Now I got to figure out who the heck I'm going to take at center field.
Okay. Well, all right. I got two of my outfielders. I've got my first baseman. I've got my catcher. I need to focus a little bit on the infield as well. And I do have a couple guys in mind. This guy, I think you might have had him on your target, but now that you've got kind of your infield built, maybe not so much, but I'm going to grab him now anyway, because I do need this guy on my team. Arthur Irwin, again, from the dead ball era. And I believe I had his, just double check, his 1883 season.
From Worcester, or the Detroit Wolverines, yeah.
Just check
1880, right?
I think 1883, but let me just check his
All right.
defense here. Yeah. 1883. This is bat like 286. Yeah, let's go 1883.
1883 it is. All right.
Right.
Yeah. So you need some defense up the middle. I can't steal everyone.
Yeah, I know. And you probably weren't going to go shortstop, second base for a while because you kind of have those positions solidified, but you never know. You might have tried to steal one on me to prevent me from getting him. Did you have Irwin anywhere on your list?
Yeah, but I was going to wait on him. But as long as Koski can shift over, I think we don't need to fret too much on shortstop.
Okay, you're up.
So I'm going to go back to the third baseman. Well, double up like you doubled up on first base. I'm going to go
dare.
From 1964 Chicago White Stockings, Pete Ward.
Pete Ward. Okay, Pete Ward. Where are you, Pete? There you are, right there. So Pete Ward,
and he's got some eligibility in other positions as well. So he's got the flexibility, left-handed bat. Take a look at his 1964. 129 OPS plus, 6th in the MVP voting, and a solid third base choice. If Koski's moving to short, Ward's going to take over at third. And there's my infield. Boom.
Very good. Very good. You are definitely working on that infield. And that's going to be interesting. 1981, you'd have a much different team if this was 1991 or 2001.
Or 2022 or 2021 with the juice ball. Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's see where I want to go. I think we need to go back to the pitching department because Fergie can't pitch every single game. And next on my, you took Ford, you took Hiller. Ooh, let me take a look at my cheat sheet off screen here.
You do that. I'm actually going to build a position tracker for both of us, just so we can see how many we've got at each position.
Okay. Okay. Well, I've got two pitchers in mind. I'm going to go with the guy I had a little bit higher up on my list, and that is, I believe, pitched with Oakland for a period of time. And that is, no, it was Chicago, I think. Ryan Dempster.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Ryan Dempster. So here we go. Ryan Dempster from the Chicago Cubs. Here we see a little bit of his pitching stats here. And for year, I believe I'm going to go with his 2008. That was his
And he split that one with the Athletics too, right?
2008 was with
I think.
Chicago.
Oh, okay. I was looking at a different year then, so.
Yeah. So with Chicago, put up a 2.96 ERA. His best year of his career in terms of ERA. ERA plus in 2008 was 154. Again, the highest of his career. So I think I got the best Ryan Dempster, and he can pitch some innings. So we'll see how he does. 17-6 in that year in Chicago.
Yeah, Dempster's a good choice. I'm going to stick with a similar era, actually. I think even a teammate of Ryan Dempster for that 2008 season, or part of it. From Victoria, British Columbia, Rich Harden.
Yeah, you know what? I was flip-flopping between the two.
Yeah,
And
I think they're close enough in quality that you don't have to fret too much about it.
yeah. So Rich Harden. Because when I said Oakland A's, this was a guy I was thinking of, but I had Dempster just a little bit higher. And which year are you going with again?
2008.
2008. So it was 2008 year. No awards for Mr. Rich Harden. And that was the year, yeah, he split between Chicago and Oakland.
I mean, a 10-2 record with a 2.95 FIP across both teams, and he pitched better with the Cubbies than he did with the A's. So that's why I'm thinking he may be a good choice.
I agree. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to stay on the pitching bandwagon here, and go with my number 3 pitcher. We're going to go with, yeah, let's give Baltimore some love here. I'm going to go with Eric Bedard.
Ah, the lefty. Good choice.
Going with the lefty. Need some left-handed arms there. And I'm going to go with the Bedard from 2007. So again, the last 3 players have been from the almost exact same year. 2007, 3.16 ERA. Yeah, again, not a great career, but for a number 3 guy from the Canadian talent pool, I think he should do okay. 221 strikeouts, 146 ERA plus. So yeah, that definitely is his best year. So from Navan, Canada, Eric Bedard.
Yeah, Navan, Ontario, to be precise.
Ontario, yes, Ontario.
Yeah, so, this is tough. Because now I'm thinking I have 2 premium defensive positions still available, but you've already got a primary catcher. I know at one point we were talking about who's going to be managing whom, and you drafted the guy I was going to take, Arthur Irwin. So turnabout is fair play. Fill in the catching position. How about George Gibson?
Okay, yeah.
Pirates.
He was the guy.
1909.
He was the guy I had as my second best catcher, and if I didn't get Martin, I was going to take him. So George Gibson, and yeah, it was funny because we asked who was going to manage each team, and Pesuigi picked Irwin, I picked Gibson. We might have to flip-flop them now.
Yeah, I think we're going to just cross over.
And which year did you say?
1909, when he batted for a 109 OPS plus.
Okay.
Again, dead ball era, only 26 strikeouts at 150 games, so I'm expecting like an avoid K rate of like 150.
There you go. Yeah. So I think the second best catcher on the board. There are still a couple other catchers, and because again we have off days, I don't even know if we'd really even need them because they should.
Yeah, and then there's no injuries either, so it'd only be in like a pinch hit situation.
Yeah, which we have some better options, I think.
Yep.
Okay, one more pick to finish off this round, and then we've got our next break coming up. Okay, so what do I want to go with now? I got a couple guys in mind here.
I'm glad we're taking the break so I can do some research on other center fielders, because otherwise I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, not official yet, but you picked a guy with a mustache. I'm going to go with the guy with the mustache here. George
Ooh.
Wood.
Okay, I did not have Wood on my board at all. Interesting choice.
Okay. So George Wood from 1891 is the year that I'm going to select. He, again, plays in the outfield, had a 309 batting average, so by far one of the best years of his career. 413 slugging percentage, 812 OPS, 130 OPS plus. Did have a better OPS plus a little earlier in his career, but
And take a look at the position eligibility. You might be able to get some third base or shortstop out of him.
Yep, that
Clever
was the
move.
key. That was the key part of the decision too. There are better outfielders still available, but not in terms of flexibility, I thought. So, yeah. George Wood. All right, we are up on our next break. We will be right back to finish off this draft. Stay tuned, and we'll check in on the bounty tournament as soon as we get back in 2 minutes. All right, we are back. Welcome all in. Thank you guys for hanging around as we complete our draft here. 2 Canadian-based teams that are going to face off on July 1st, Canada Day, 1 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you book it on your calendars. Join in, Testuigi and I, as we face off in the Best of 7 series on Canada Day. And thanks for everyone tuning in. Hope you're enjoying this little bit of a different flavor to OOTP as we put together our team. And you know what, Testuigi? We should put the challenge out to the American streamers. You know, those American streamers that are out there, you've got a big day coming up July 4th. Maybe even not this year, but at some point next year during the season, have your own face-off. Maybe even we can have the Canadian-American teams play each other. All right, I think are you muted, or is it me?
No, I am muted.
Oh, okay.
I think the Can-Am Cup could be interesting. I also think Yuka and Dish would be perfect options for this because they've done similar historical things in the past, having maybe even a round robin with our 2 teams and theirs.
Oh, that sounds interesting too.
Let's get Nersha in on this too. Let's see, and the other Canadian streamers. Let's combine our forces and build a really good club. We can talk about this. Yeah, not this year, next year, I think.
Exactly, because you know, if we have EBC and we have Ezra, the team would just be full of Dodgers and Giants, right? So we need that versatility. We're going to get a lot of Red Sox and Tigers, and personally, I'd rather face a lot of Tigers than all those good Dodgers. Okay, let's continue on here. Testuigi is up in the draft. Who are you looking at?
Speaking of Dodgers, I did my research during the break. I found my center fielder from the 1945 Brooklyn Dodgers, Goody Rosen.
Goody Rosen. Well, there's a name from the past.
Toronto kid.
Yeah, from
Even
Toronto.
took time off to fight in the war briefly.
Okay, there he is. There's his beautiful image there. And he synchronicity. We're talking Dodgers and Giants, and here's a guy that played for the Dodgers and Giants. Great.
Yeah, and more importantly, All-Star nomination, finished 10th in MVP votes, 5.5 wins above replacement, and he did so as a primary center fielder. So fingers crossed, I got my outfield locked in.
Okay, which year did you say?
1945. So the year the Dodgers won the damn thing.
All right, so you got some leadership on the team there.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to dip to the well one more time because if this is a long series, I'm going to need some really good pitchers, and I could go reliever, but I'm going to go with a guy that could be a starter, could also put him in the bullpen. From, I don't know how you pronounce this, Kapuskasing, Ontario, Kirk McCaskill from, not the Anaheim Angels, from the California Angels.
McCaskill's a good pick. Good swing.
There you go. And I'm going to go with his 1986 year. EFP, whatever that means. Help me out here.
Batters faced,
maybe. Okay. Had a 3.36 ERA. Again, he did have a better year in 1989. Just take a look at the other things.
But you take a look at the totals, more innings pitched in 1986. You're going with a workhorse there. I can get that.
Okay, 1986, the young version of Kirk McCaskill. And boiled egg, 2-hour drive from Timmins. That must be south of Timmins, I'm guessing, because Timmins is kind of a little bit further north. So boiled egg, there you go. You got someone to cheer for. Get your McCaskill jersey ready for Saturday. Who are you going with next?
That's a good question. I think I need to flesh out the bullpen a little bit. I know I need one more starter, but I think I can wait a little bit more. Some of the names I'm looking at are still on the board. We're going to go with a swingman who both was in the rotation and pitched out of the bullpen and had a surprisingly long career that included a stint with the Blue Jays, where I'm going to be taking him from London, Ontario. The 1997 Blue Jays, Paul Quantrill.
Ooh, went with one of the Quantrills. The father, I believe, correct?
That is correct. The Quantrill the Elder.
Elder. We were talking about the Schofields on stream yesterday, the father and son Schofield team. Well, we've got a couple Quantrills that were born in Canada. This being, I believe, the better of the two pitchers.
There's still time for Cal to figure it out. He's relatively young, let's not forget.
And I'm assuming you're going for one of those Blue Jay years?
Yep, 1997. Although I may change my mind, I reserve the right to. If I want a starter, I could grab one of his years when he's in the rotation with Philadelphia or Toronto. But the 97 year where he finished 29 games, 88 innings pitched, I think that's the year I want to go for him. In terms of wins above replacement, 3.2. So quality innings, if not always high leverage ones.
Yeah, and he had one of his best years in terms of ERA, 194, second only to his Dodger year in 2003. And definitely a solid pick. They're getting the 29-year-old, Paul Quantrill. Okay. Well, I'm going back to the hitters. We've been focusing on it's just like hockey drafts. When there's a run on goalies, people take goalie in the fear of missing out. We were kind of doing that with pitchers. Let's get back to the hitters. I'm going to take a guy from the olden days, and that is George Selkirk from Huntsville, Ontario.
Twinkle Toes. Good choice.
Twinkle Toes it is, yes. Died in 1987, born in 1908, a Capricorn, for all you astrologists out there. Going with the year 1939. I'm going to go with the 1939 Yankees. Oh, I drafted a Yankee.
Yeah, that's the year I had circled for Selkirk. Good choice.
He did have, a slightly better RBI year in 1936. And I can't remember. He must have been playing with the Babe, right? He would have been a teammate of the Babe.
I think he actually ended up replacing Babe Ruth. Cool. Yeah, because Babe Ruth was with the Boston Braves in 1934. He was already in his diplomatic era, trying to go over to Japan to do some barnstorming tours.
Right. And again, here's his defense here. That gives me, I believe, you can double check here. I think that gives me 3 outfielders right now. Yep,
that it does.
Okay.
Actually, I've got you with 4. You got Wood, Heath, Poole, and Selkirk. I'll present my screen. You can take. We're through 13. We're at the halfway point of the draft. Now's as good of a time as any to double check and see where we're at.
Right. Coach Ruffy is mentioning Port Hope pre-snowmobile accident year. Is that with George Selkirk?
That's with Cal Quantrill.
Oh, Paul Quantrill. Oh, okay.
No, Cal, his son.
A little bit behind on the chat. All right, let's take a look here. We've got the updated after 13 rounds. And again, I do have that, I think it was George Wood that had third base or infield eligibility.
Yep, that's right.
I could, in a pinch, move him over to the infield. Could move one of them to DH, of course.
You can always move Bladito over to third. That's true.
Yep. So let me just take a look at my pitchers here. I've got 1, 2, 3 starters, 1 reliever.
You got 4 starters. I mean, McCaskill's sort of a swingman.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I'm liking the shape of my team so far. So chat, what do you think? We're at the halfway point here. What do you think if these two teams, based on what you see there in the 1981 settings, just give us a quick little prediction here. Of course, we don't have the full rosters, but we pretty much have our starting roster, for what we're going to go with. What do you guys think? Do you think Luigi or Suigi, or do we have the Hound with the better 1981 team? I have to admit, I think Suigi has got me on defense for sure. Okay, moving on to round 14.
All right. So, I'm not going to... Hey, I need to stop sharing my screen because I got my notes also in the same file. So, this is tough for me. I got to think... Because I got 3 outfielders, but I could always use 1 more. And I'm torn between 2 guys, so maybe this will make up your mind going with this guy. We're going to take from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jason Bay. Trail BC.
Was my next pick.
I scooped you.
Yeah. His defense kind of held me back a little bit, but he was going to be my next outfielder.
Defense, schmefense. We need bats. We have a DH, remember?
And which year?
That's the tough part for Jason Bay, because his 2005 was really good, but so was his 2009. I think I'm going to go with the 2005 year for now.
2005 with the Pirates. Right. Let's take a look at his hitting stats. 2005, 183 hits. Pretty good doubles guy back in that year, 44
and
double.
Yeah, All-Star, got MVP votes. 2009 was an even better year with the bat, but 961 OPS, 150 OPS plus, left fielder, center fielder. That way I can move Tip to DH, and I don't have to worry about that much.
And yeah, I think Coach Ruffy, you're right on it. I think Luigi has the defense. I think I've got the pitching so far a little bit of an edge, obviously with the elite. And yeah, Cubs fan Steve, there you go. We've got Fergie Jenkins as our starter with no injuries. Good to know that Fergie will get at least 2 games, I would think, at least, maybe even get into a 3rd game depending how he is. And yeah, this isn't the Ryan Braun you might all
no, notice the birth year, 1980. Yeah,
a different Ryan Braun. Okay, well, I gotta look some things over here, and I got some multi-position guys. Maybe I could save them. 1 catcher's good for now. Could go back to the pitching. You know what? I think I am going to go back to the pitching. Use a guy potentially as a starter, maybe as a reliever.
Yeah, we got a lot of bullpen arms to fill out.
For Sea Shockers, for IBDB, we're going to go with a Seattle Mariner. Remember the bird? James Paxton.
Big Maple.
Yes, we're going to go.
You're going with the lefties, I'm noticing.
Yeah, well, hey, sometimes those hidden strategies are the best ones. A Scorpio from Ladner, British Columbia on the West Coast. We've got James Paxton, and I believe I'm going to go with, at least temporarily, with his 2017 season with the Mariners. Went 12-5, 2.98 ERA, and he definitely was his best year as a pitcher. So again, I could use him as a number 4 guy. I could use him in the bullpen. He's got some flexibility.
Okay. Next up for yours truly with the 15th round selection, I'm going to stay on the pitcher's mound. I do need another starter. And given my love affair for the Rockies, this should come as no surprise. I'm going to be taking from Vancouver, British Columbia, Jeff Francis.
Ooh, okay. Jeff Francis. Right
Specifically
there.
his 2007 year with the Rockies. I mean, yeah, you pitch within Coors, you're going to get Coorsed around. But in 2007, Francis was a huge part of that run to the World Series.
Go there. You see some of his stats, Jeff Francis. Not a guy I had on my list, but I think the Coors factor kind of kept him off my list with that those high ERA. But definitely a guy that in a different atmosphere, different ballpark is going to put up better numbers.
Let me put it this way: 17-9 record, 9th in Cy Young voting with a 4.19 FIP in Coors. I mean, if nothing else, he can definitely pitch out the bullpen. And one-time Blue Jay too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, nice. All right. Boy, I've got a couple guys in mind here. And we're getting to the point that I may forget who I drafted already. So,
hey, anytime you need me to call up the spreadsheet, I will do so.
Okay. Has Pete Ward been drafted?
Yes, I got him back in the 9th.
Oh, darn. Okay.
If you want a third base, there's one option left, but he's a good one.
Yeah, I know. I had another guy, though. I don't know if you had him on your list. Go up here a bit. Not the guy I want. Not taking him, but I just want to take another look here.
I don't think that's your dude.
No, don't think that's the dude. Okay, I'm gonna take. Okay, let's do it. Let's take Brett Lowry.
There it is.
Brett Lowry from Langley, British Columbia. Another
Golden
infielder.
Brett.
And we're gonna go with. What year did I had? I believe I had 2012.
2012, 2013 are both pretty good years. I checked out his defense. Guy can play shortstop too. So he may be in a situation where, depending on how Irwin looks, depending on how Laurie looks, maybe you move Laurie to second. You don't have a second baseman yet.
Yep. And yeah, his hitting was definitely better in his 2012 year. His average is OBP, slugging percentage. So I think we're going to go with his 2012 year with the Toronto Blue Jays. 135
Yeah, my mistake.
hits.
Yeah, that's the year I had. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. 48 RBIs, strikes out, a fair bit, especially later in his career, and could hit some doubles in 2012. So yeah, Brett Lowry. I kind of wanted to push him off because I know you have your infield established, but I had to take him out.
That's fair. Next up for me, I'm going to be going with a bullpen arm from the 2003 Phillies, born in Moncton, New Brunswick, so again out to the Maritimes, Réal Cormier.
Réal Cormier. Woo, you left my guy. Thank you. When you said bullpen, I'm like, no, do not take him. Okay.
So there's my lefty. I needed a lefty out of the bullpen. Yes. Oh, wait, Hillary's a lefty too, but yeah, I need my platoon splits too. And that 2003 year with the Phillies, yeah, that's good. That's the good stuff.
So the 2003 year is the year that you're going to go with the Phillies.
Yep.
Philly love.
He had a decent career altogether. He's one of those accumulator guys as opposed to just a flamethrower. So that's why I had him in mind.
Nickname was Frenchie. There you go. Frenchie. Réal Cormier. Okay, I'm going with another bullpen guy. Guy that, is one of those guys that stands out for one specific year. And I believe
the Axeman.
The Axeman, John Axford, and specifically his 2011 season with the Brewers. Look at that ERA. Pitched lots of innings, only went 2-2, but 46 saves in 2011 with the Brewers.
All right.
Okay.
There's a couple of bullpen guys I've got circled, but I'm going to wait on that. I want
before you go to your next pick, Tetsuiji, let's just do a quick
good idea. Yes.
Quick look at the bounty here. Let's see how we're doing. We did get an update from GT Sundown. Looks like I got through to the next round, beating.
I am going to Game 5.
Oh, okay.
Against the Nocadia Gators.
Which I don't think qualify. Don't think they're in the chat. So there we go. There is our look here. The left side of the bracket is all decided. We've got the Bombers, we've got Rav, we've got baseball, we've got SAC, and
you got beaten.
Oh, I got beaten. Okay. So there we go. So because I got beat by someone that's not in the chat, 5 packs will go to whoever beats Tetsuiji, and 5 packs will go to the tournament winner.
I'm waiting for the next one to come in, so we'll keep an eye on this. I'm waiting for the Doom chimes.
Let's wait for that chime. I don't think mine will chime because I'm out of the tournament, so...
Yeah, let me bounce out and bounce back in. Just in case.
Fnatic will not repeat. Fnatic has been defeated.
Hey, GT Sundown, thank you. Yeah, 8-4. I'm taking on the American Dreams. I think that was the other non-theme or non-participant.
Oh, let me see here. American Dreams. No, I think they're in the chat. GVZ3? I think I remember seeing that one, but they can confirm. Are American Dreams in the chat? We did have 3 teams. Austin was one, Barry was the other, and...
Oh, hey, GVZ. Good luck.
There you go. Okay, so GVZ has a 10.
Canadian, GVZ.
GVZ. And on the other side, I believe all the 4 are in the chat here. Austin, of course, that beat me is not. So hopefully the Clowns, Boiler Nemo, I think that is. Yep, Boiler Nemo, we need you to take out the Avengers. So we'll check back in that on that a little bit later. Okay, let's go back to the draft here. Now it's getting a little bit tough because we're getting down to kind of players that a lot of people probably haven't heard of before. So John Axford is the last one.
Yep. So I'm gonna go with a batter, and I'm gonna go to mid dead ball era. Specifically from Hamilton, Ontario, played for the Detroit Tigers, Frank O'Rourke.
Frank O'Rourke. Okay, yeah, I did find out a little bit about him last night. I did have him on my list as a late addition. There you go. There's Frank O'Rourke there. And which year?
The 1925 year. It was the only one in which he was a positive wins above replacement. Frank's career in total, not that great. Frank's career just for that year, pretty darn good. So,
293 average. There you go, Punk, you've got yourself a Tiger drafted here in Frank O'Rourke. And which position is he?
He's a second base, third base combo.
Okay, back to the infield.
Yeah, he also got some MVP votes with the St. Louis Browns in 1927, but from a defensive perspective, he was the better player in 25.
All right. Okay. Well, running out of options that I had on my list here. I think we're going to go one more time to the bullpen, and going to go with yeah, we're going to go with Phil Marchaldon.
Phil Marchaldon, okay.
Marchaldon, yeah. Phil Marchaldon, nicknamed the Babe. We've got the Canadian Babe up here from, you got to pronounce that one for me.
Penetanguishene.
Penetanguishene. So boiled egg, how far is that from Timmins, Ontario? How far of a drive is Penetanguishene? So yes, we're going to go with this pitcher here from 1947 with the Athletics.
The Philadelphia Athletics, no less.
Yes. So 128 strikeouts that he had, pretty decent. And just another guy to fill up a little bit of that bullpen. Decent Canadian kind of back end pitcher, maybe a mop up guy if I need one. So can we kind of show the sheet again, Tetsuiji?
Yep, one moment there, Lap. With 17 rounds in the books, that is not the page. This is the page. At some point, we got to think about backup catchers, by the way.
Yeah, I've got a couple in mind, so whoever you take, I'll just take the other one kind of thing. But yeah.
And if it's one of the ones I'm thinking of, you got to be careful with that nickname.
Yes. Have to go with his real name.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got 8 pitchers. You've got 7. And I don't have a true second baseman, but I do have options at second base. And yeah, it's looking. Did you have Vlad as a first baseman or third baseman?
I got him marked as a first, but I will move him as a trainee to third. And I will also move Brett Laurie as your second baseman temporarily. Pretty sure Irwin can play there too.
Yeah, so that's I'm pretty happy with my draft so far, and not really weak in any one position. 8 pitchers in a 7-game tournament. I don't think I need to draft 12. I think.
Well, we're going to be drafting a full 26-man roster, so
we got lots of room.
Yep.
I would say anywhere between 11, 12, even 13 if you want. You go with your strategy, and you are up next.
Yep, and I'm going to go with a storied career, another guy from the Maritimes, St. John, New Brunswick, famous instance with the Expos, the Jays, the Phillies, Japan. And remember, in case of emergency, use stairs. I'm taking Matt Stairs.
You know what? Funny, I was going to take him last round with the pitcher, but I was going to take Stairs just because of the meme and of the popularity of this guy. There he is. Let me put him on screen here. Matt Stairs.
Now, the offense is why I'm drafting him. I'm taking a look at his 1999 season, specifically with the Athletics. 38 home runs. Not bad at all. I mean, defensively, yeah, plug. But you take a look at his BBref page. That year, 4 offensive WAR, 1.7 total WAR. I mean, he had a nice little late career resurgence with the Blue Jays, too, in 2007. So if I need a first baseman, I may swap for that year. And then, of course, you see his stint in the 2008 Phillies. He won a ring that year.
Well, yeah. Great Canadian player. Represented, I believe, Team Canada a few times, didn't he? As well?
Speaking of Axford, he actually represented Canada like March in the World Baseball Classic.
So yeah, some of these guys, they're still pitching. Rich Harden, Dempster, is Dempster still?
No, neither of those guys still are.
Yeah. Axton, though, I believe is still.
I think Martin was part of the coaching staff for the WBC team.
Yes.
And Paxton's having a career resurgence with the Red Sox. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we've got Matt Stairs. Well, I have a pitcher in mind, and I've got a couple hitters as well. Okay, let me go back up to the this is where it gets really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with my backup catcher. I'm going to take my backup catcher. Again, you'll have to pronounce this for me.
Amherstburg.
J. Justin Clark.
J. Clark. Yep, you went with the backup catcher. One of the 2 good options.
From the Naps, and I am taking his 1906.
All right.
Where he hit 358.
All right. Well, at least I'm okay with either of the 2 backup catcher options. I'm going to go back on the mound. I'm going to be taking a bullpen arm. And you want to talk about a flash in the pan? This guy basically only had 3 seasons, but the first one of them was very, very good. From Kelowna, BC, Jeff Zimmerman.
Oh, good pick. Yeah, good pick for the bullpen. Jordan.
Not Jordan, Jeff.
Okay.
The elder Zimmerman. And not that Jordan Zimmerman either. So 1999, Jeff Zimmerman, All-Star, rookie, third and rookie of the year, 2.36 ERA in 87 2/3 innings pitched, and a .833 whip. Until his arm blew out, which I'm assuming is what happened, he was on track to be a key component of a Rangers bullpen that looked really stinking good.
That's you can't go wrong with Zimmerman. Like you said, when you pick one specific year for him to play.
Oh yeah, okay. So signed a 3-year contract worth $10 million in the 2001 offseason. Then blew through 2 Tommy Johns, and basically did not pitch any games after 2003. He retired in 2006.
Okay. And you
Poor
said
guy.
1999, right?
Yeah, we're taking the 99 year.
Third in Rookie of the Year balloting. All right, back to the mound for me, and then we'll see where we go from there. This is a perfect team card that I see quite a bit in drafts. I draft him. I did last year as well, and I didn't even realize he was Canadian. So I'm going to go back to the mound with Reggie Cleveland.
Ooh, I had a different name with that lead up that you were thinking of, but Cleveland's a good choice.
Reggie Cleveland from the 1973 St. Louis Cardinals. I guess it was back then. Cardinals still. Again, he's not going to blow your lights out, but he can put in some innings. And let's see if he had any kind of awards. No, not any kind of awards. But again, just your all everyday reliable guy. In 1973, he had a 3.01 ERA, best of his career. And yeah, just add to that bullpen.
All right, I'm going to take the other remaining catcher. Even then, he still had a pretty good season. Early 1900s, from the Cincinnati Reds, Larry McClain.
Larry McClain was my fourth guy on my catcher list. Absolutely. We were on the same page.
From Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Larry McClain, there he is. Catcher and first base eligibility.
So we're going to be taking his 1910 year.
Yep, that's the year I had targeted. Yeah, with Cincinnati Reds. We have our catchers full.
Enrico.
I was thinking about him for my 23rd pick, but we'll see. We'll see how things go there.
The pride of Windsor, yes.
Okay, well, I am running out of names here very quickly. Let's go to... I had this guy. Don't know why I had him on my list. Bob Addy. Yeah, we're going to take Bob Addy. I don't think I've taken him yet, right?
No, nobody's taken him.
Okay.
All right, middle infielder. Hey, second baseman. There you go.
Yep.
And he's a Bob, too.
Yeah, you stole the stairs. I stole the Bob. For his year... Boy, his 1873 year where he hit 355.
Sure.
Let's go with that one. 1873, 454 slugging percentage, 818 OPS. Like, he just had a great year, and he had 154 at bats, so nothing to sneeze at there. So left-handed bat, right fielder, second baseman, playing the infield, Bob Addy.
I did not have him on my list. And boiled egg, I got Stairs back in the 18th. So don't worry, we have him. He's safe.
Okay, what round are we on here? 20?
We are on round 21.
Okay, 21 already.
Yeah, all right. So let me think. I've got to go with another infielder. The question is, do I go with the known quantity or... No, I'm going to go with another current player. From Montreal, Quebec, Abraham Toro.
Toro.
Oh, sorry, Longueuil, Quebec, not Montreal. And specifically the year that he was traded from the Houston Astros to the Seattle Mariners, that would be 2021.
All right, so taking his split year with Houston and Seattle. Now, what kind of allowed you to consider this guy? What was it about him?
Positional eligibility. He's got ratings at second and third base, and he also had a little bit of catcher eligibility back when he was starting. So that's why I'm thinking, let's get an emergency catcher as well. Abe Toro, I think, is the guy to be our additional middle infielder. Between Smith, O'Rourke, Toro, Ward, and Koski, got it on lock.
Yes, you've got that infield on lock for sure. All right, let's see. Where do we dip to the well here? Got a couple guys in mind. I think I'm going to go with. I don't think you've taken him, but I better double check. Has Rosen been taken?
Goody Rosen? Yeah, I took him back in the 12th.
Okay. Well, that's why I'm wondering why he was still there. All right, let's go with the other perfect team card that I don't know if it's the same player. Maybe it's just the same name, but I'm going to go with Oscar Judd.
Ooh, good choice. Out of the bullpen.
I think that's the one in perfect team.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So Oscar Judd, and going to go with his, didn't have a year selected for him.
I circled 1943 for me.
Okay.
If I was going to take
we'll
him.
go with 43 for now, and if I decide to change it, so the Red Sox, 1943.
Swing manual note, 20 games started, 2 games finished. So he could be coming out of your rotation instead.
11 wins, 2.90 ERA. Yeah, he's for this late in the draft, happy to take him. Ozzy was his nickname.
All right, round 22nd, and Boiled Egg and Coach Ruffy kind of spoiled it. I gotta take Markham Asylum from the GTA, Jordan Romano.
Yeah, I did have him.
And specifically his 2022 season.
Okay, let's go down to Romano.
I mean, this season's been pretty good too, but let's not, cook the books just yet.
So 2022 from the Blue Jays, 2.11 ERA. Yeah, can't fault that pick.
I got his jersey. I got his name and number on the back of my blank white jersey for my birthday. So he's my boy. I got to take him, and I'm glad he was like under the radar till now.
All right, from the West Coast, from Victoria, British Columbia, the Condor, Michael Saunders. For all my Mariner fans out there, we've got another one. We've got Paxton, and now we have Saunders.
Which year are you going to take? Because there's some interesting options. His 2014 was really good until injury shortened it. His 2016 was an all-star year.
Yeah. You know what? For now, let's put down... like that slugging percentage in 2016. For now, put down 2016. Let's put down the Blue Jay, but I'm gonna have to look at his defensive stats a little bit and kind of see if he's older then, so I don't know what his defense would have been like. But yeah, I'll get back to you on Saunders.
Sounds good. All right, I'm glad this fellow fell as low as he did, because I think he could be a secret starter for me.
Ooh.
Going back to the dead ball era, and better yet, another Bob from 1884, Bob Emsley. Born in Guelph, Ontario.
Bob Emsley. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you saw in this guy.
How about 2.75 ERA on 455 innings pitched in 50 starts? Dead ball era. Gotta love it. And even then, you're talking about someone who had a fantastic season. So between him, like there's a lot of old farts on this club. Between him and Tip O'Neill, they can just, sit in their rocking chairs between innings with Pop Smith. 3 dead ballers on my team. You got Arthur Irwin and George Wood. So, the Canada and Bob Addy. So we're 3-3 on the dead ballers. But more importantly, it shows that Canada has always played a role in baseball.
Okay. Well, another card I see in Perfect Team, and he's got a cool name, so I have to take him, is Bunk Congleton.
Yes, Bunk. I'm so glad you took him.
Bunk.
Another short career, but aside from the A tier name, I think Bunk is going to be your DH.
Yeah. And I think I had where's his years here? I believe.
Yeah, it's a tough call between 1906 and 1907.
Yeah.
Take a look at the rate stats. 320 batting average.
362.
Keep in mind that's in only 12 games.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to go with the larger sample size. Let's go the 1906.
Another Cleveland Nap. Hey, he was teammates with Jay Clark. How do you like that?
Hey, there we go. Got a catcher and two people with interesting names, that's for sure. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Now
I'm a bit
20.
another. I'm surprised he fell this late. I know I'm drafting a fifth outfielder, but I got to take him. Tyler O'Neill from the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Yes, another T. O'Neill, so I have no idea what his jersey's going to say. But from Burnaby, BC, 2021 year, 6.1 wins above replacement.
Okay.
34 home runs. So I'm thinking triple outfield eligibility. I'm hoping. So if Goody Rosen doesn't turn out as good defensively, at least I have some pop off the bench.
And that is a solid pick. I forgot to look a lot at the current players, because there are some of these, like Tyler O'Neill, that did have that great season in 2021 that kind of slipped by me. So yeah, really good pick there with Tyler O'Neill. All right, I'm going to go with something completely different here. Not an offensive guy, not a guy that you would expect to be on a 26-man roster, but a guy that I want as a defensive substitution in the outfield if necessary, and that is Dalton Pompey.
Ooh, I did not even have him on my list. That's a brilliant call.
Yeah, Dalton Pompey, you're not getting for the bat. He was projected to be the next big thing. A lot of Toronto Blue Jay fans were looking
Pride of
forward to
Mississauga, yeah.
Yeah, a really all-star career they were hoping for, and just didn't really pan out. But boy, could he play the outfield. Reminded me of that Devo White, in the outfield, that could catch anything in center field. So I'm drafting him specifically for that defensive substitution.
And you're taking his 2015 year, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I like that call off the board. That's a savvy move. All right.
Dalton Pompey. And which round
last
did
two
that
picks. We're in the last two picks. So I'm going to take one more pitcher. I'm going to take another reliever. And I'm going to be taking Ron Taylor from the 1963 St. Louis Cardinals.
Ron Taylor. Taylor. There we go. All right. And before we get to the next pick here, we do have our ad break coming up. So one more ad break here, then we'll finish off the draft and take a look at our rosters. So stay tuned. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Over 300 of you watching this Canadian preparation for the Showdown on Saturday. Be back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back in. Thanks everyone for sticking around with a couple Canadians here as we draft our teams for the Canadian Showdown. Once again, a little bit of a time change. Originally was going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. We're going to move it up an hour. We will be on Saturday, July 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern for the best of 7 showdown between Tetsuiji and myself in the all Canadian brackets. And we've got a few more picks to go. Before we finish off the draft here, Tetsuiji, just do a quick, managerial interpretation of your team. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you think?
If the dead ballers look good coming out of the historical database, I feel really strong about our club. With Emsley and Ford, you're getting, a lot of ground ball pitching, ground ball tendencies, which is going to be doubled up or gobbled up by Pop Smith and Corey Koski up the middle, Pete Ward with a hot corner. The defense is, I think, the primary thing for the infield. It's the outfielders that I'm going, ugh. If Goody Rosen and Tyler O'Neill don't look good with outfield range, you scooping me on Terry Poole means I have lost a little bit of something in terms of the defense. That said, I like the back end of the bullpen going Cormier to Quantrill to Hiller. And Hiller, given his stamina, his 1970s coming in as a closer, I may have him as a stopper instead. I think we've got some real talent coming out of the bullpen and off the bench with Stairs and Bay. And of course, DH Tip O'Neill, who needs anyone else. So I'm comfortable with where my team's gone. I have one last pick. Probably going to go with a bench bat for the infield, but I'm interested to see what you choose, because at 11 pitchers, 4 starters, 7 relievers, I think that's good.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's tough right now with these last couple, because, I think I need one more bat and probably one more pitcher that I'm going to go with, because I believe I have 10, correct?
You have 10 pitchers, correct. You can see it on the right here.
Oh, okay. There we go. 10. So let me go back to the main screen here, and let's put that back up. Okay, so let's go back and take my last pitcher. I'm going to go with a perfect team kind of pitcher here, a guy that I draft all the time.
Doc, come on, no.
I've got him on
He's employed by the Canadians now. He's not available.
Ooh. Oh,
Dr. Dynastics asking, is Yuppie still available?
Well, you can either have, I'll take Yuppie, and you can take, what's the Jays nickname?
I'm not taking Ace. I'm going back with a retro. It's BJ Birdie, absolutely.
All right. So that's cool. We've got our mascots as well.
Yes.
So let's go and take this bronze stud on my bronze team just for the meme. We're going to take...
Oh, no, that's a good choice.
Go
Krakowskis is how I pronounce that.
Krakowskis, and he's got a classic nickname, Joe. There we go. Joe Krakowskis in the bullpen as my last pitcher choice.
I'm guessing you're going to go with the 1939?
Yep. Yeah, we're going to go...
Actually, we have 1938 looks a little better. Your choice. Tough call. I think in terms of wins above replacement, 1938 was the one I had. Because you'll notice, although he's pitched fewer innings, ERA's better, fewer earned runs. And, it's the Washington Senators. First at war, first in peace, last in the American League. You're never going to get a good result with them.
Yeah. Let's go 38. 38.
All right. And
38.
Our 26th man, our final option, I'm going with... And this is going to be a high-risk reward choice. Speaking of perfect team darlings, from 2023, Edouard Julien.
Oh, yes. What that is high risk, high reward. So there is a guy that you're getting the 2023 version.
Yep, it's my only active. It's an active player. Another guy with middle infield capabilities. 4 home runs so far. So I'm hoping that as like the last man off the bench, He can be a pinch hitter, pinch runner. I have good hopes for him.
Okay. Well, that leaves my last pick. And because I have home field advantage and all my names are off my list right now, I need some help from chat. Chat, help me pick my last guy. Now, based on Tesuichi's record keeping here, I'm in desperate need of another infielder. So we're looking for a Canadian infielder, someone that
I can make
play...
some suggestions.
Okay,
So,
well, yeah, go ahead.
So options would be Sherry Robertson from the from the 1940s. His 1949 season was decent. And he's in perfect team, so he's a decent enough player to justify that. Pete Orr is an interesting choice. Pan Am champion. He played with the Braves and bounced around a few minor league systems. Or you can go for the one-season wonder of Kevin Nicholson.
And I don't believe if Claude Raymond was picked.
Raymond is not selected. Once we're done, I can tell you some of the guys who I had on my short list who didn't go.
Okay. All right. So, of course, there's the meme of Stubby.
Stubby, I think Stubby Clapp. Yeah.
Stubby played what, third base? I don't know what he played.
I think he was an infielder. Yeah.
Pete Bobby Orr. Oh, this is tough.
He played first in left field, or second in left field, rather.
Okay, so he does have second base eligibility, but he's probably not going to import too well. Okay, so let me just go and bring this up here. Go to this one.
Yeah, you got row 79, Sherry Robinson right there, or Robertson. Or he was row 79.
Sherry Robertson.
There he is.
There he is. Outfield, second base.
Yeah, that 1949 season with, not the greatest hitting, but at least he's a second baseman. Oh, Coach Ruffy with a good suggestion. Two-way player Adam Lowen.
Ooh.
Outfielder and pitching eligibility. The Canadian Shohei Ohtani, eh? Shohei Ohtani. But I don't think he was ever he had a single season when he was both. That's going to be the issue with Lowen. And he wasn't particularly good at either.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go with not seeing any others here. We'll check Jared
Okay,
Young.
Dave McKay's another option, actually. Not the greatest, but he is an option for middle infield if you really need.
Jared Young. Let's check him out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the issue is I don't need first base and outfield. I need infielders.
At this point, gotta be if I was in your situation, Sherry or Pete, one of the two.
Just sort by war here, quick.
EBC and NYC, we're playing on Saturday, but I think we equally scooped each other on a few picks there, Lap.
Yeah, I think we did. Okay,
I
so
think your outfield defense is going to beat mine, but my infield defense is just clamped down good.
You suggested Pete Orr?
Or Sherry Robertson, yeah.
Ooh.
Like the rookie year's halfway decent.
Yeah.
And multi-position eligibility. He played just about everywhere on the diamond.
You know what? I think how can we not go with a name like Orr? Let's finish off the draft with the 26th round pick for Laptop Hound's Canadian team, Pete Bobby Orr. With his
and the 2005 year, I'm guessing.
Yeah. All right, and then you can bring up your sheet one more time and we'll take a look at our rosters. So welcome all in. Some of you coming in a little bit late. Tesuiji and I, if you missed it, we have a showdown on July 1st. July 1st is Canada Day, 1867, Confederation in Canada. We've got Team Confederation going up against Team Dominion at 1 p.m. Eastern, not 2, at 1. And today was the draft where Tesuiji and I drafted only Canadian players. We have a few other rules. Injuries off, suspensions off, coaching system, personalities, all those other OOTP features off. We will be watching the highlights of all the games. Only Game 7 is a possibility for in-game management. If it goes to a Game 7, we want to be there to make the choices for the team. We get extra training for 1 extra position per player, and all the OOTP environment settings will be from 1981, including a DH being enabled. So those are the rules. Those are what we're going to go with, and we're going to do that July 1st. We're going to have a give away some packs, and a little bit of a Canadian rivalry. And today, Tesuiji had pick number 1. He went with Larry Walker. I got the other Hall of Famer, Fergie Jenkins.